Welcome back to the Unwritten Rule. Today is Friday, September 13th. Friday the 13th, boys. Scary hours for this show. If we've made it to air, that means nothing's gone wrong in the editing process with it going from Thursday to Friday. Our show is not cursed, but Mizzou thankfully does not play until Saturday, so they do not have to face a Friday the 13th game. But they do play Boston College. We're going to preview that. We also got some BOC to talk about, some stadium stuff that we're going to get into in a second. But yeah, we're going to start with Boston College, 11:45 a.m. on the SEC Network. And boys, this is a ranked game for the Missouri Tigers. I mean, just opening thoughts on that, opening thoughts on what you've seen from BC. They're 24th in the country. This is a nice little all of a sudden boost that I don't think anyone, if you would have told me BC was going to be ranked at the beginning of the season, I would not have believed you.
Yeah, this is very advantageous for Missouri, I think. Thank a Florida State fan if you see them, because Florida State has done wonders for Missouri so far this year, with just the losing and getting out of Missouri's way and giving Boston College a boost. So, but no, I mean, coming into the year, I mean, you looked at this Boston College game, it's kind of like, it's a non-con that's a Power 4 versus Power 4, but it is Boston College. But I mean, there's like genuine intrigue now. I mean, Boston College fans are juiced up to the start of the Bill O'Brien era, and rightfully so. I mean, they've looked absolutely great. They played Duquesne in their second week, which doesn't show you much, but they were better than Florida State in their first game every step of the way. So definitely an intriguing matchup. The line being as in favor for Missouri as it is. Missouri is a 16.5-point favorite on ESPN Bet at the time of recording this, which is pretty absurd. I do not think Missouri will cover that. Or now it's minus 16. So minus 16. Either way, I don't know if I think Missouri will cover that wide of a spread. Boston College has some juice behind them.
And this game means a lot to Eli Drinkwitz. He learned a lot as a young coach back in 2021, or a young coach in a Power 5 conference, because we know he's been a head coach before when he was at App State, and he's coached at multiple places before then. He didn't mean as much as what he did probably behind his words, but going up to the great state of Massachusetts, were they going to recruit from there? Why are they playing this game? And rightfully so. It was a weird place to play. It ended up being a home and home a couple years later, but at the same time, Boston College won in overtime. This is an opportunity for him to kind of right the wrong. This is a program definitely on the rise and wants to make the college football playoff, and this game means a lot to it now. I mean, Vanderbilt's having a decent start to the season as well. That's coming the week after. I mean, who would have thought those two games probably were nice for the resume?
Yeah, good boosts. I mean, let's get into Boston College a little bit, because, it's finally a team that, we don't have to totally ignore who's on their side a little, at least a little bit. I think like the line has Mizzou favored. I think we all have Mizzou favored. Payton, I want to ask you about their quarterback, Thomas Castellanos. I know you have a take about him. He was pretty fun, obviously, in those first two games, running around, ran all over Florida State. But I know you're not convinced that he'll probably do the same kind of damage. Kenny's got his PFF grades up too. 93 offensive grade.
Oh, actually, I didn't say I wasn't convinced he could do it. He could absolutely do it to Missouri if they're not careful. He's a second-year starter at Boston College. He helped lead them to a bowl win last year, actually, in the Fenway Bowl over a good SMU team. And Castellanos, you look at just the surface numbers, you might get a little confused. He's only attempted 26 passes through 3 games, although he has been very efficient on them. He's completed 19 of them. That's good for a 73.1 completion percentage, 6 touchdowns and no picks. But where Castellanos is really dangerous is just with his legs. I mean, last season with Boston College, he racked up over 1,100 yards and 13 touchdowns on the ground. He averaged 5.2 yards a carry. So far, 1 touchdown on the ground, averaging 5.4 yards a carry with Boston College. He's a true dual threat, like a straight up throwback just to the mid 2010s dual threat QB. Like, he will absolutely torch Mizzou on the ground if they're not careful. And you see there, I mean, so far this season, 93 overall grade, 93.8 pass, only 57.8 run, which is interesting. But the threat from Castellanos is definitely his dual threat ability. You got to keep him in the pocket. I mean, last season, he is off to a good start through the air this season, as the PFF grades, the completion percentage, all that indicates. Last season, though, he threw 14 picks against 15 touchdowns in the air, 2,200 yards, 57.3 completion percentage. I think the game plan is pretty clear. Keep Thomas Castellanos in the pocket, and good things will probably happen. But again, Missouri cannot just walk in here thinking, okay, we're going to keep Castellanos contained, no problem. We'll roll through this game. I mean, this is a very, very dangerous quarterback. He's a playmaker in every sense of the word.
Very efficient. I think that's one way to say it too. You talked about those completions and attempts, not a lot there, but very efficient with what he's doing. And to the best of our knowledge, on the home run ball, it usually doesn't happen when there's something like bad going on. I know the last name could be, could make you think one way, being Castellanos. But on the home run ball, we know that it doesn't happen when something bad happens. So yeah, but in Bill O'Brien's system too, first year back in college, as a head coach, it's just under Bill O'Brien, offenses like to succeed. Good thing he doesn't really have to be a GM anymore, but in the college football ranks, you practically are a GM at the same time with the transfer portal, NIL, and all this stuff. But I'm very, pleased with what Bill O'Brien's doing. But at the same time, he's just probably going to run into Mizzou and show what this offense has been capable of these 2 weeks.
Yeah, you've got Castellanos. They returned their top receiver from a year ago. This guy, Lewis Bond. He only had I think it was 600 yards last season. And then I think one of my favorite names I've heard through the first 2 weeks of the season, their running back is, I think it's Robichaux is how you say it. Kai Robichaux. He also came back after last season. So yeah, they've got some good returners on this team and a quarterback who can kind of mix things up a little bit. I mean, Payton, you mentioned Mizzou's we're not thinking they'll cover. I know it went down to 16. What do you need to see from this defense? I mean, I think pretty much all we could expect to see with 2 shutouts in the first 2 weeks. What do we need to see from them here in week 3 that's going to convince you they can handle another step up in addition to handling Boston College? You can't overlook, obviously.
Yeah, we saw everything we could have possibly wanted from the defense the first 2 weeks. You throw back-to-back shutouts. I don't care who you're playing. That's damn good work. This is their first real test, though. I mean, no disrespect to CJ Ogbonna. He is not Thomas Castellanos. No disrespect to whoever was whoever was running the football for Murray State. They're not Boston College's running back. You can see Kenny has, if you're on the YouTube, Trayshawn Ward pulled up, who's averaging almost 7 yards a run this year. This is a legit offense through 2 weeks that they're going up against. So what you got to see if you're Missouri, you want to see them get off the field consistently on third down, I'd say. Boston College, with how dynamic Castellanos is and how little they throw the ball, they're going to be probably playing in front of the sticks most of the day. So it's going to be key for them to kind of get off the field on third down. I think Batoon has really got to bring his A game. I've liked what I've seen schematically the first couple weeks, and I'm sure he hasn't tipped his entire hand yet. So basically, they just got to keep Castellanos in the pocket, I think, is the key. Don't let Boston College get third down after third down. And as often as you can, man, you got to be disruptive in that run game, because Boston College is going to try and take the crowd out of it. They're going into a sold out, hostile environment for a top 6 team in the nation. They're going to try and ground and pound. They're going to try and just suck the life out of the stadium with these long extended drives. I think Missouri's just got to keep themselves off the field, be as disruptive as possible.
Yeah, it's a big, first test for Corey Batoon's defense. Maybe even for that joker position, see how whoever's in that position within each snap kind of responds to the type of play. One thing I want to throw out there about Trayshawn Ward as well. I don't know how many times you can say this, that someone has played at an opposing stadium in week 3 for a different team in back-to-back seasons, because Trayshawn Ward was the running back at Kansas State last season. He had 9 carries against Mizzou in that Kansas State game for 46 yards.
There you go. That's a good fact. Yeah, I think he kind of rotates with that Robichaux guy. I think they're kind of a little bit of a tandem. over there. Look at that career too, by the way. FSU for
Years.
4 years. K-State 1. How's that BC? Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a couple good, performers PFF wise on their defense. Like this is a team definitely that Mizzou, can't walk or can't feel like they can walk all over. So, I think it'll be interesting. I mean, PFF Kenny, anything stand out with you with defense? I've just decided to W that. I don't think you've asked for it, but I'm giving it to you anyway. Yeah.
Very impressive grades so far. I think a lot of the time when you're hearing about Boston College in the media is, I would say, on the offensive side of the ball, and I think that's fair to say with a new head coach who's offensive minded and and just overall play. But on the defensive side of the ball, two guys with a grade of 90 or higher in week 2. Of course, wasn't against a premier opponent, but at the same time, these guys graded very well. Kim Horsley, who's a nose tackle, at a 90 grade. Jalen Cheek, free safety, was 92.2, and they played a good amount of snaps. Jalen Cheek, 27 snaps. Kim Horsley was a starter, had 16 snaps. So guys to look out for on the defense side of the ball, probably in that category of Edwin Kalench, Ty Clemens. These are just some guys you'll probably hear their names a couple times on Saturday.
I think the scary thing was like they just looked really disciplined against Florida State, and they looked kind of mature. It seemed like, I don't know exactly how many veteran guys they have, but it felt like they had a lot versus Florida State. Kind of didn't look like they wanted it very much, didn't really come to play. And I'm not as worried that Mizzou isn't going to do that. I think things will be okay there. But yeah, I mean, there's some talent on this team. Fortunately, I'm segueing a bit, you guys. Mizzou will have one of its own returners for this game back available. One of the best Pete Thamel tweets you can ever read is when he posts a picture of Brett Norfleet, because Mizzou is expecting the star sophomore tight end to return against Boston College. Norfleet, of course, missed the Buffalo game after injuring his shoulder against Murray State. Missed some time in camp as well, but the Fleet boys, he returns most likely for Boston College.
Yeah, they'll have Cameron Johnson back as well. Cameron Johnson also missed the Buffalo game, and Mitchell Walters started in his place. So that's 2 starters. Certainly you want to be as healthy as possible for a game like this. I'm not really sure what the game plan is, obviously. We'll see how heavily Norfleet's involved coming off an injury against a top 25 team, but you'd certainly rather have him than not.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, should we do score predictions before we talk Sankey? I know we have a point of him being at this game. I feel like that's a good segue point into the stadium stuff. Do we have who wants to go first? How did we do last week on the picks, Kenny?
I got to pull that up.
I have one more point while Kenny pulls that up. One other thing to watch for Boston College, they have a very, very, very experienced offensive line. Every single player, the least experienced starter on the O-line is their left tackle, Jude Bowery, who is a redshirt sophomore. So every single player on their O-line has 3 years or more of experience. And Jude Bowery, who is the least experienced, is their highest graded starter on the O-line out at left tackle. So very, very solid O-line, very experienced O-line. That's another thing to keep an eye on. Who's going to win? This will be a good test because there were a little bit of concerns maybe with that edge group after Darius Smith went down. Are the D tackles going to be able to fill the void that was left by so many departing players at that position last year? This will be a really good test for them.
It's a good call. Yeah, I mean, it's two experienced offensive lines too when you go into it.
Very.
That can't be overlooked either with Cameron Johnson coming back. I think that'll be helpful for some of the edge rushers. They look pretty good for BC. All right, before we do score predictions, we need to give Kenny his props. I think we discussed the spreadsheet last time. If you're not watching on the YouTube, Kenny has gone into record keeping mode ahead of this season. So anything we've made some predictions on this show that have probably been forgotten, but we're locked in now. We got a spreadsheet. We've got score predictions from the first 2 games and how well each person did. Kenny's got our men's basketball season record predictions from May that we did. He's got the throwback to the Noah Carter games. People that follow us on Twitter are familiar with that, how he did with his hairstyle. All right. Enough of that. Who wants to go first? Score prediction. Boston College, Mizzou. 16-point spread in favor of the Tigers.
I think you can go first. You won last week.
Me? All right. I did technically win last week. I said 42-6 Buffaloes, 38-0. Mizzou, Boston College. I was on another podcast and I did actually say I have Mizzou covering this game. I actually think they're going to do pretty well at home. I do think Boston College will score. I think the shutout streak comes to an end. So let me see. I got to do some mental math here so that they win by 16. Yeah. Hang on. I'm thinking. Let's go 38 to what would that be? 20? No, that's not.
Yes,
cover.
That's a cover.
Yeah. 38-20. Mizzou.
Okay. Payton.
Very, very pivotal game, and I'm actually very glad Boston College is this good, because if Missouri can go in and win kind of handily on this one, I think it buys you a pretty big mulligan for later in the season if you need it. I was discussing this with Kenny earlier, but like if you win this game and win it handily, I think you probably can get pretty much a mulligan on an A&M or something like that. I think Missouri wins. I kind of do think they'll cover, because I think while Boston College, a lot of their fans have pointed out, this is like one of the biggest games like Boston College has had in maybe over a decade. Missouri needs this game too. And Drinkwitz, I remember there was a clip in the offseason of him talking about the Boston College game on the Rich Eisen show, but it was Tom Pelissero hosting it. He said that Boston College beating them in 2021 and rushing the field was one of the lowest points of his coaching career, and that they have his full attention. I think Missouri is going to be locked in for this one. I think Missouri is going to win 35-14. I think they'll win by 3 touchdowns.
I like it. I like both you guys with what you guys went with. I'm in the realm of I haven't chosen any team to score a field goal yet, and so I really need to start doing that.
42-7 in back-to-back
weeks. So I'm going
43-8.
31-13 will be my score.
All of us have them covering, man.
Yeah, for those at home, that's a cover.
If Missouri is able to cover in this game, I really, really think that is going to that would be very massive for this program if they actually go in and handle Boston College that well.
I just like there does feel something different, and like I feel like I've brought it up every show, so I guess I'm gonna keep doing that. Like Payton, with your quote that Drinkwitz had on the Rich Eisen show, like there just feels like there's a different mantra with this team. Like it does not feel like they're at all resting on their laurels of last season.
Yeah.
Like Drinkwitz wants more, these players want more, and you're right. This is a prove it game. This is all right. You got 6th in the SEC by kind of some beneficiary of teams looking pretty bad in their first 2 weeks. What are you going to do with it? And this is a good chance to prove that.
No, absolutely. And I mean, I do kind of think Boston College is going to come into this game probably wanting it like a smidge more than Missouri is going to want it, because I mean, if Boston College wins this game, I mean, think about what that means for them and Bill O'Brien, their goals and aspirations. That like this is probably a bigger deal to them. But when you're number 6 in the nation, you're not overlooking anyone at that point, let alone a ranked Power 4 opponent that the head coach clearly has not forgotten about when you remember what happened the last time they played. So I think Missouri is going to be plenty motivated. I don't think there's any. I'm not concerned about that. That's for sure.
I would agree.
My last thing about the Boston College game is I think you guys have probably seen it. A lot of people have. Boston College is claiming Mr. Brightside. There's been, I don't know if you guys have noticed.
Wait, I have not seen this.
You have not seen this?
Yeah.
No, fill me in.
So Boston College fans, they also sing Mr. Brightside at games. They probably caught some flack too, because when you think about it, I think from a national level, like of course Mizzou has the the altered lyrics or the extra throw in about KU, but a lot of people give it to Michigan. And even if you do the research, if you look it up, Mizzou actually has the upper hand of when they started that. But Boston College is also starting it as well.
What do they say?
The last 10 years.
FBU?
They don't say anything. That's why they don't get to claim it.
They just sing the song.
Yeah.
And so
singing the song is so lame. So lame. If you don't chant something afterwards, let alone F your biggest rival, I think you're doing it wrong. Also, the video I've seen of Boston College fans singing it at their football stadium is quieter than how loud it was in a 15,000 seat arena, Mizzou arena. So I don't think Boston College has any right to this. Obviously, you can't ignore Michigan in the debate, but I can ignore Boston College.
I didn't even know about it until this week. So maybe that's...
Yep, I didn't either.
That speaks to it.
So we got our score predictions. And while we do not want Mizzou to lose this game, and while our score predictions at least we don't think Mizzou's going to lose this game, we think they're going to win it relatively comfortably, we do have something we can blame, boys, if Mizzou loses this game, and that is the SEC commissioner, because he's going to be here, or going to be in Columbia at Memorial Stadium. Greg Sankey will be in attendance. And so I think we can blame the loss on him, right? If they lose, it's Greg Sankey's fault. It's the Greg Sankey curse, and he should be fired as SEC commissioner.
Mind you, there is an SEC game that College Game Day is going to, and the league's commissioner decided that was not even the most important game of the week to attend. Well done, ESPN. Yeah, I mean, you look at the slate, this is pretty, maybe, I guess, Wisconsin, Alabama too, but this was, I think, the only other option, really.
I think, I don't remember I don't remember what game he went to last year, because he makes his rounds. He tries to go to as many of the games as he can. I think in the 2022 season, he might have been at the Louisiana Tech game. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe even Abilene Christian. So this is a big one.
It out early.
Yeah, this is a big one. Going the commissioner of your conference coming to a game that very meaningful.
Don't embarrass him.
Yeah, Mizzou, don't mess this up. So one of the reasons Greg Sankey is here, this is a good way to segue, is he was at the Board of Curators meeting where a bunch of stuff went down for Mizzou's additions to Memorial Stadium, including that they're going to have a groundbreaking ceremony on November 30th, which is the same day as Mizzou, Arkansas. Thank you, Callum McAndrew, for that information. More importantly, Kenny, and for the viewers on our YouTube, we got more renderings. We can look at for Mizzou Stadium. They added a couple more of them. Obviously, these expansions in the north end zone. I keep thinking it's the south end zone because I think about the South Hall dorm, and it always throws me off. But it is the north end zone of the stadium. Mizzou's adding some renovations. They detailed some stuff about the funding. Greg Sankey was there, spoke at the Board of Curators meeting, which feels pretty significant. That kind of feels like he's sort of putting his stamp on it. Not to give Greg Sankey more power than he already has, but putting a stamp on it is Mizzou's kind of trying to become, have that kind of true SEC stadium feel and all that stuff. But what'd you guys think? What else did we get from the BOC meeting besides some more cool renderings of what I'm very excited for when this eventually comes together for the new stadium?
I think it makes it look like an SEC stadium, or at least more like one. God love Faroe Field and everything, but you could tell it was a Big 12 stadium in SEC country a lot of the time going in there. Every time I see the renderings, though, the north end zone renovations look absolutely out of this world. I don't know if people have noticed, Kenny, if you can go back 2 photos. That photo of just the full view of the north end zone facility with the Rock M there. I'm not talking about the Dalen Carnell pick 6. If you scroll down and look at the Rock M, you'll see below they plan to put suites there and everything. I don't know if we ever addressed that on the show. I know it was talked about at some point on Twitter, but they're going to basically carve under the Rock M hill and everything and put the suites in there, and then they'll have the hill elevated above it. So pretty cool stuff. Again, I think this makes a world of difference for Mizzou. The outside of it looks cool. There's There's pillars on a big window that I think they need to make look like columns, not just those generic pillars. I think that'd be a cool touch, but it's not my money, not my facility. Mizzou can do what they want. It'll look nice either way. Also, you can see, I think that's Brooks Hall in that rendering that Kenny's on if you're looking on the YouTube. Just off to the left there, looking out the window. So
it looks like the student center from the inside. If you're watching with us on the YouTube,
yeah,
this looks like the student center.
Oh God, it does really.
That's
like you're on the second floor, inverted.
Yeah,
center. It's like if you asked the AI to draw the Mizzou Student Center.
Yeah. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome to take the step forward. It's great for the program. It shows you where the school is going. And there were a lot of concerns over the last couple of years. And this always happens for anyone in our age group. You go to a school and then you immediately leave, and all the cool things start happening. And the one thing, I might just have a gripe against it because this is like where I sit as an alumni. But I feel like the hill seats, there's gonna be a lot less options up there. And it's gonna cost a lot more to go to some of these games, especially with how good this team is. But that's just a caveat of being a good team and being a stickler. But this is great. It looks awesome. Very cool that the school got this approved, is moving forward. I have one joke to make about the Board of Curators meeting before we move on. And I made this to Payton already. But that Mizzou plays like UMKC in athletics, and that's pretty much it. I don't think that those should count as losses. Those schools are sister schools. They're in the same system. They should be working together if this is how the Board of Curators works.
I would counter and say it should count as 2 losses because they should never be losing to UMKC.
Yeah.
Right. Or UMSL.
I'm sorry. I'm going back to that game. It was.
Let's not revisit
basketball
that game ever again.
Basketball
game. Buried it in my damn memory
game.
forever. The worst game ever. Also, for those curious, the north end zone facility, I think, will add about 4,000 seats, is what they said, and it'll bring Mizzou's total seating capacity to around 65,000. That's both of those are according to Gabe DeArmond from Power Mizzou on Twitter.
Only other things I'll throw in, I think Payton mentioned it. The athletic department, according to Laird Veach, has established the goal of raising half of the $250 million.
I sure didn't say that.
What?
I did not say that.
Oh,
but now you are.
I thought you mentioned the price is all. Yeah. So Laird Veach says the athletic department established a goal of raising half of the $250 million required for the stadium. So $125 million, and Mizzou, I think, is halfway to that number currently.
So they've got a quarter of the money down.
Yeah, quarter of the money down.
They break ground on November 30th.
And then I guess the other thing more symbolic than anything else, the city of Kansas City flying a SEC flag over City Hall today, passing a resolution to officially name KC an SEC city, which that's kind of fun, I guess. I didn't know that was hilarious. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, it's also not correct because if you go to Kansas City, it is a beaker town. That is a KU stronghold. Yeah. That is not Missouri's territory.
No, I feel like it's way more St. Louis than KC.
It is.
If you have a Big 12 championship game in your city, I just don't understand how you're calling yourself an SEC city.
Kansas is playing its home football games in Kansas City, Missouri right now.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I love Kansas City. It's an awesome town.
I love Kansas City. I lived there for years. It was great.
Yeah.
But it is a beaker stronghold.
Yeah. It's a Big 12 city. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, they have the Big 12 championship tournament there for basketball all the time, which the school just west of it always wins. So Beakers will still say everyone in KC is a KU fan. Uh-oh.
Well,
is that us? That's us right now. We got owned by Tamar Bates Burner. It's tough. Yeah, so there you go. They've got new stadium renderings, more things to get excited about with that. Oh, and then the other thing, Greg Sankey also saluted Mizzou's improved facilities for football, softball, and cross country, and notes that Mizzou track and field will host the 2025 NCAA championships. So there you go. Also talked about Christian Schweitzer, legend, noted tiger in the wild.
Yeah, I believe that is outdoor, which is huge for where this program has gone. Even on the indoor front, we talked about it, that they had to bank the track. in order to kind of meet the standard there. I know some people were a little bit upset about that. Bank tracks rock. Maybe I just say that from a long distance point of view, but I always liked them. But from the outdoor facilities as well, there was a nice story in the Tribune, and then we followed it up at the Missourian a couple years later with an update on it. But there was like issues with like the track. There was like high school tracks that were better, just had better running conditions, and it just wasn't fixed over time. It got placed, and then they just never replaced it. You need to replace those every couple years. Like my high school has replaced it 3 times in the last 15 years. It's just one of those things that just weather conditions, heat, it all just kind of absorbs it. So good for Mizzou to kind of take this step forward for this track and field team, especially when you have an Olympian. Like this is very big to see.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I don't know. I feel like I would look at the track and I'd just be like, yeah, I thought the exact same thing. And you obviously know a lot more about it than I do surface wise, but I was like, this just does not look SEC quality. So it's good that they're improving on that and adding in some of these other facilities along with the football stadium renovations, because that's important, obviously, as well. All right. So from Mizzou, any other quick thoughts on Boston College? Maybe a quick player of the game take. Anybody have an outside shout? Kenny, don't say Brent LeBlanc, or I'll mute you for the rest of the show.
Jack Cox.
I almost wonder, because Brady Cook has kind of been, a little inconsistent through the air. I wonder if we maybe get like a big day on the ground from either Noel or Carroll. I'll give a dual player of the game to Nate Noel and Marcus Carroll.
We need to come up with some sort of Christmas nickname for the two of them, because it's Carroll and Noel.
Oh,
I don't know what a good one would be. That like is both of them. Like I wouldn't just nickname them Christmas. That's boring. Also,
Big
shout
Christmas.
out Syracuse, Kenny. Yeah. Oh, Big Christmas.
I don't know.
Christmas. The ornaments, something like that. I don't know.
Nope.
Something. We'll brainstorm. We'll figure something out.
Mine is, though, I think I'm going to go with the defensive side of the ball. And I mentioned earlier about the joker position, maybe someone on the linebacker core as well that might have a pretty big game, maybe stopping the run or, just pass deflections, anything. But I'm going to stick at, maybe that hybrid role. I'm going to lean on Dalen Carnell. I think
that's who I was going to pick.
Okay. Yeah. I just feel like we haven't seen like a huge game in the first 2 weeks of the season. And I mean, that's okay. You heard his name a couple times, but I think this is an opportunity for him to kind of take that step forward as SEC play approaches.
I'm going to go Chris McClellan. I think he bowls over a couple of those those good offensive linemen for BC that Payton was talking about. I'll throw
They need it. They need him to stuff some of those runs up the middle.
There's something. He's got a good attitude about him. On the D line, I'm a fan.
I honestly like that you guys went defense, because I think it probably how well this game goes for Mizzou does come down to how well they play the Boston College run game. I almost want to change my pick to Johnny Walker. Maybe can he keep
not allowed.
Castellanos grounded and just keep him in the pocket all day? Can he play contain well? Can he cause a little bit of havoc? Get his clock ticking a little faster back there, because you want Castellanos to throw the ball more. You don't want him to just run rampant on you.
That's a drive deep to left by Castellanos. It'll be picked off by Dalen Carnell. They got to throw that in. Commentators got to throw that in somehow. Throws it to the left of the field. Yeah, they'll make it work. All right. That's all we got from Mizzou BC. We will obviously recap the game as well, but we will finish the rest of this show. Okay, we will do quick hits to close out the show. We'll start with Jersey of the Week. Kenneth, KV, 2001. What's your quick hit?
2000.
2000.
Yep.
Coming up soon, huh? B-Day.
Nope. But yeah, Ben Arnett posted this photo of Mizzou offensive lineman Cayden Green, who got to address the media for the first time as a Tiger. They asked him about managing the outside noise when he transferred from Oklahoma. And you can watch the full clip. You can find it on Twitter, or wherever you watch your clips. I think it's on YouTube as well. He just said, I just deleted
Twitter.
Wherever
you watch your clips.
Yeah, wherever you watch your clips. So he said, I just deleted Twitter. Kansas City, we'll give you your shout out now. I think we kind of ragged on you a little bit. Yeah, you produced Cayden Green, and Cayden Green's an awesome offensive lineman. But this was just a funny remark, and I don't even think he meant to be all that funny. He was just kind of being honest about it, and then people kind of chuckled because he just straight up deleted it. Get away from Parker Thune.
I want to call this out He's a liar.
Why?
Yeah.
Go look up Cayden Green on Twitter right now. And the people on the YouTube will see that he is lying.
Okay,
there
well,
it
these are ads that he's forced to
Yesterday.
post.
Yesterday.
Okay,
and the other day, he's a liar. No.
Okay, well, these ones they're made
They're
to post.
ads,
like,
I know,
yeah.
but
this one he probably
it would
was
have
just
been
on there
pretty
just on
funny
his own.
if we just scrolled down and like to like July, 30th, and it just said like Oklahoma sucks, like, or something, just something open coming at Oklahoma.
Cayden, I wish I was as strong as you. You're probably way better off than I am.
Yeah,
So,
I would be a
good
lot
for
more
you.
mentally healthy if I was
this.
not on Twitter.
I'd retweet that too. I mean, it did sell out the Mizzou Oklahoma game in about 20 minutes.
The Cayden Green revenge game is going to go so crazy. I'm very excited for that game. Payton, jersey.
My jersey of the week is going to be what Missouri's wearing against the Boston College Eagles. That's right. It's time for the uniform review. Remarkably, Missouri did this uniform reveal in the Tiger Hotel just literally a week to the day after Knowlton and Kenny talked about them filming a uniform reveal there. It didn't quite go the way they expected. Kenny was talking about coming out of a bathtub, having socks and whatnot. That didn't happen. They just had their reveal like out in front of it, had a player walk in the lobby and everything. Today on Saturday, they'll be wearing plain black oval tiger helmet top, yellow jersey, and black pants. Pretty good look. I like the black, yellow, black. My favorite uniform set ever probably was black, yellow, black, but it wasn't oval tiger. It was sailor tiger for homecoming against Vanderbilt in 2022. Everyone knows where I stand on this debate. I am team oval tiger over block M. I don't think they needed to do a block M for this. I will say they absolutely need to bust out the block M against Oklahoma. If they don't, I will join people in the outrage. But this is a good one to use an oval tiger. Don't get too fancy. Don't bring out an alternate tiger script or anything like that. Handle your business. Business as usual for the Missouri Tigers. This uniform gets an 8 out of 10 for me.
Well done. Well put. Kenny, you have any thoughts on we got it right?
Yeah. I know you're
we got to predict again. Where are they going to do it next?
Yeah, we'll do that in a second. I know Payton was kind of taking a shot at me for the way I kind of described how it went. It would have looked really fire the way he did it. Like he's just has one leg out. And you kind of see they're wearing they're wearing gold pants today. You kind of see it, and then it kind of just flashes around because it's lights. I mean, if you go to the Tiger Hotel, you can see a lot of cool lights in there. I know this one kind of got some pushback though, Payton. I mean, what are your kind of thoughts on the yellow jerseys, the gold?
I like the yellow jerseys. They're not my favorite Mizzou jersey ever. I really like Mizzou's white jerseys a lot more. But I don't know why everyone hates these yellow jerseys. I think they're good. Should Missouri maybe go back more towards the old gold look rather than just the more yellow? There's an argument to be had there. I think the old gold look would look really good for Mizzou. I hope they do something like that for Oklahoma. They definitely won't, but it'd be cool, wouldn't it? But I think the yellow looks good. I mean, it's a very distinct look for Missouri. They stand out in this conference because of some of these looks.
Yeah, I don't know. I've started to graduate away from giving my opinion on the uniforms.
Yeah.
I think they look solid, but
got two things.
I would. Go ahead.
This is our first time we've seen it with an actual person. Last two ones have just been someone wearing a number 0.
Oh yeah,
this is Marvin Burks.
Marvin Burks, who has been real good these first 2 weeks,
might have a career in it. Did a good job in this. I also would like to hope they were filming it out front and there was just a drunk kid walking on the other side and they had to reshoot a segment. I hope that happens.
They definitely shot this on Wednesday or Tuesday nights. I mean, there's no way they went at a busy time.
If you weren't out on a Wednesday or Tuesday night drunkenly walking past the Tiger Hotel, you're doing it wrong. That's all I'm saying. Get out there. sorry, wait, Kenny, you had two things.
Yeah, my second one. Okay, now let's plot where the next one will be.
Yeah, we got to think here.
So it's Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Homecoming.
Oh,
wait, no, it's
not. No. That's Auburn. But yeah, so it's Vanderbilt.
It'll be in that sewer grate by the J school because they'll like rise out of the water.
I was thinking
Park.
I thought about, this is kind of could be taken the wrong way because it's a very smart school. The library, walk through like the parts of it.
Walk through Ellis.
I think they're gonna go to Lake, or is it Lake Stevens or Stevens Lake? I think that's the next place.
Okay, I'll pick a
If
different
not
one.
this week, it's gonna happen.
I'll pick that. No, you gotta say this week.
Okay, Stevens Lake. Stevens Lake this week.
All right.
Not happening.
I'll pick a different one just to be fun. Let's go for. I'm nervous with this because this is kind of near the Tiger Hotel, but I'll go the other columns on what is that, Walnut? They'll do something for
the
that.
fake columns.
Columns.
They would never do it with the fake columns.
It's Broadway.
Yeah, it's on Broadway.
No, they're not on Broadway. They're on like Walnut and what?
I'm gonna look this up. I know exactly where they are. I know
on Broadway. Or do they face out on Walnut?
They're on Walnut. That runs that way.
They might be on Walnut, but
I think they're on Walnut. I think they're.
You have to walk straight out from the normal columns to get to them.
The columns. There's a way.
They are on. Hold up, I found it. I just can't find. Yeah, they're on Walnut and.
Yeah.
Walnut and 8th. It looks like.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that picture. Those are on. That's Walnut. That's not Broadway.
Wannabe columns.
You're getting old.
Oh yeah.
Oh shoot! Can I change my answer?
Nope.
All right.
You're gonna say the water tower or the garage?
No, I was gonna say the arch, and the pick on the bottom left by the J school.
I'm like 99% sure they're going generic Faroe reveal for Vanderbilt.
Well,
guys.
you know what, Payton? You weren't right the last time, so you don't have.
I didn't give a guess the last time. My guess is going to be Faroe. Nothing fancy.
Okay, fair. All right, my jersey of the week. I'm sticking with Mizzou, but we're going baseball. Mizzou baseball. They revealed their 2025 SEC schedule today. I will run through it quickly. They put LSU, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Arkansas, which likes to steal the script A from Alabama just for baseball. Florida, Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia, A&M, Mississippi State in series. Thoughts? You guys are the baseball guys.
I believe that's
going to
be the best after Alabama.
Yeah, Georgia's actually the Green Bay Packers.
I really don't have many thoughts right now. I don't know anything about any SEC team really at this point. Even Missouri, I'd have to probably reacquaint myself with who's there and who's not now. Carrick, though, I mean, they had moments in year one under him. I mean, that sweep of Florida was genuinely like a moment for them. So there were spurts. We'll see. I mean, the goal should be just to get to Hoover consistently at this point.
Yeah. I always find it funny when teams that probably are not going to contend for the SEC tournament, put the SEC tournament on there. Prove me wrong. I mean, that's just something. But I guess it's good to kind of get LSU out of the way as well. It's your first series in the SEC.
That's a good point. That'll be a tough one. All right, yeah, that's all I had. They revealed their schedule.
I like no capping. He's the main bird.
Shawnee's main bird of the week, Kenny.
My Shawnee's main bird of the week goes to Mike Wright. Does not come in the best light. Our good friend Mike Wright is no longer the starting quarterback at Northwestern as Jack Lausch takes over. You can look on the doc right now if you guys can remind me where did Mike Wright go to college so that I can tell everyone why he is a bird.
He goes to college at Northwestern.
You mean high school?
Where he went to high school.
Woodward
Academy.
Woodward Academy, and they're bird team.
Woodward.
Yeah, but did you guys know we are older than Mike Wright?
Really?
Yeah. I would have guessed we were about the same age. I did. Yeah, I'm not overly shocked. I'm a little surprised by that.
Yeah.
Little surprised that we're not the same age as him.
He was born. There's going to be parts of the next couple weeks where I am 2 years older than him.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Big B day for Kenny.
For those that don't know, we loved Mike Wright when he was at Vanderbilt.
We did.
He's with his third
because he was so bad it helped Mizzou.
Well, we love the Vanderbilt quarterback now, or at least two of us do.
Hey, man, he beat Virginia Tech, so you guys were right.
Yeah, we know ball. Payton, main bird.
My main bird of the week is going to be Chase Daniel in particular. But Missouri just kind of lost in the shuffle. They announced their full class of 2024 for the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. Quarterback Chase Daniel, of course, of the Eagles, most notably, I would say, was among those honored. Ben Askren is also in there. John Anderson, who is now back with Missouri, is back there. MU Gymnastics first head coach Jake Jacobson is in it. There's a whole host of others. But yeah, Chase Daniel, he is my bird because he's getting inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame this year, which feels pretty overdue. I don't know if there's like a limit, like one of those, the baseball, you have to be retired X amount of years for it, but surprised he was not in it already, but better late than never.
I don't think there is.
That would be funny if it was
John Anderson
a limit.
Still working.
Yeah, so I don't know. Probably
Yeah.
Chase Daniel should probably have been in about a year after he left college, not gonna lie.
Ben Askren, most known for taking a bag to lose to Logan Paul.
Yep.
Or was it Jake Paul? I forget which one.
Jake,
yeah. Also,
Logan
Jake Jacobson is not. That's a fake name. Come on, we gotta have some more original.
He was MU Gymnastics' first head coach.
We gotta have a more original name than that. No, congrats to all of them. That's a nice haul for 2024 for the Missouri sports.
I believe there may have been a few more, but those were, I think, the highlights.
They were the main birds.
Yes.
All right, my main bird of the week. We're just going off the rails. I didn't find a Mizzou one this week, so I'm going to the world of video games. My main bird is Flappy Bird because it's coming back. A group named the Flappy Bird Foundation Group have acquired the official Flappy Bird trademark and rights to the original game. You guys remember Flappy Bird took over the nation?
Yep.
That's a good response.
I was gonna say
I don't think I'll ever play this game, but I looked up Bird on Twitter and this was all that came up. So there's a lot of tweets about this. So
yeah, for those that don't know why we said that's just stopped there for a second. If you're watching on the YouTube, the top comment in response to the discussing film tweet about Flappy Bird coming back in 2025 is LMAO Flappy Bird in the big 2024, and it's a photo of Celtics Shaq, which that is what I was going to say. I was like, there is no chance I'm going to play this.
I think there's going to be a good amount of people that download it.
Yeah.
And delete it in 2 days.
Yeah, they'll get their initial download. Also, this person that replied is wrong because it's coming back in 2025 So it's Shaq and the Suns.
You should community note them. I don't know. I just thought this was fun. I mean, everyone did have their time on Flappy Bird. I mean, I passed many times in class in early high school when this first was a thing. There was
middle school,
there was a good time.
Yeah, this was not around in high school.
Oh, okay. We're old. I'm sorry. It's a time
we are unks.
Twice I've heard that now. All right. Best thing you learned, Payton.
Best thing I learned this week. Mun Choi, while doing the whole Board of Curators meeting, he provided an enrollment update which showed growth in first-time college student enrollment at all 4 major system universities. That would be, for those that don't know, Missouri, UMKC, Missouri S&T, and UMSL. Missouri has 5,957 coming in this year. I believe Eli Hoff also tweeted that Choi said that is 1,000 more first-time students than they had at this, applications than they had at this time last year. And he cited the football team as a big reason for that. I do also want to mention, guys, do you notice the second biggest number on here?
Oh, yeah.
That's right. The big 2019 freshman class, of course, attended by us 3. It did feel like that was a big, kind of...
Yeah, that was
that's kind of a year people always bounce back, point to as a bounce back, especially if you look just 2 years earlier in 2017, 4,100 students. That is abysmal. So yeah, I'm glad all the UM system schools are doing well. Really, all I care about is Missouri, University of Columbia, but good for the other three as well. I don't care about UMSL, man.
Ouch.
Could not care less about UMSL, but good for Mizzou.
Viewing population. Payton's making us look at graphs on this show. I come on this show to have fun.
Awesome.
This is like a something I look at in econ. Throw some more pizzazz into this. No, that's a good graph. I don't have any more thoughts. I do like that the only comment is just Mizzou's football is good and the enrollment goes up. That's the one reply.
That is a correlation more than people think.
Totally. Very much. Kenny?
Nothing happened in 2022. That's the one thing.
There was no students.
Yeah, I don't know why. Or 18.
Yeah. Or 2020, but that one actually.
That one I understand.
Has a reason.
That one we can actually back. All right, Kenny, what'd you learn?
Best thing I learned this week is that this is one of my favorite things that I would see and wait for when I was on the Mizzou football beat. But you start to see the SEC posting these graphics about when games are going to be, what times they're going to be. In that 2022 season, it was pretty strict. Just right out there, Mizzou would just get the date, or the time for the game, and then whatever platform you're going to watch it on. But for the Mizzou Vanderbilt game, they either get 2:30 Central or 3:15 Central, or on ABC or ESPN or ESPN2 or SEC Network.
Absolutely SEC Network bound.
Yeah,
game.
It's just
why did they even put the other ones on there?
Yeah, I don't know. So two other matchups got the same thing. In Arkansas against Auburn and UCLA against LSU. I'll give LSU props. So they have a pretty good non-con.
That's they have USC and UCLA. That's better than most in this conference have. I mean, look at the other games. Texas is playing UL Monroe.
Hey, they beat Alabama in 2007.
20 years ago. Josso for Ole Miss. Yeah, you look at Arkansas at Auburn, like neither of those teams are all that good, especially Arkansas. But, I mean, that is a better matchup than Vanderbilt, Missouri on paper.
Yeah.
And UCLA, LSU, that'll probably be
Green.
the
Connor Bazelak's return to the SEC against A&M. That should go on ABC.
Yeah, last time he played A&M, it went really well for him. He threw like 4 picks.
That's not even getting on TV. That's only on streaming.
It's only on streaming.
Akron Scar. Ugh. God, this sucks. Tennessee, Oklahoma will actually be a game I like tune into, though. Like, I think Tennessee will bludgeon them, but I will watch it.
That will be a fun one. There you go. Game times. So say those times one more time, Kenny.
2:30 Central or 3:15 Central on ABC or ESPN or ESPN2 or SEC Network. You'll find all that out officially after the games on September 14th, which is Saturday.
There you go.
I have a second part as well. Talking about that Vanderbilt game. It is also sold out. The streak has been extended.
Thank you, Kansas State.
One more, and it's Arkansas. That'll do it. I think it'll run it to 11 or 12. Something like that.
Heyo. Love it. All right. My best thing I learned this week is an homage to a once great segment, Best Beat of the Week, which we used to do back in the day, because it's bad beats. Mizzou was on SVP's bad beats against Buffalo because their late score by Jamal Roberts, who Scott Van Pelt accidentally called Kawan Lacey in this highlight, pushed Mizzou to cover, helped Mizzou cover against Buffalo. This was filmed really badly on my TV. I apologize for anyone who had to watch it, but it was pretty funny to see them back on bad beats. Of course, I'll remember the Ben Sternberg time a couple of years ago, which was legendary. But nice to see Mizzou covering being the bad beat, and not like something else crazy.
People don't get it. Like, it's not just betting lines that are in play at the end here. Missouri's playing to make their analytical lines look better too. I mean, SP plus, FPI, you got to make all that look better, and running up the score helps. That's why I think Missouri needs to keep doing it this year.
Was this the drive that I brought up on our recap show where Kwan Lacey ran out of bounds?
Yes.
And then Kwan Lacey
Yes.
fumbled. That might be why he's doing that. And
I don't think it. You said it was a teaching moment, and I didn't say anything because it is like he doesn't want to do it like in a game situation. But I think they probably told him like, "Hey, if you can get out of bounds, go ahead and do it because we want to score."
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think that happens if he stays at bound.
Right.
Stays in bounds on either of those plays.
Yeah, shout out Mizzou for running up the score. All right, that's all I have. Payton?
This one comes from I'm excited for this one. This one comes from our favorite TV series, The Today Show. Guys, you do not get to answer this one. It's a statement. I just flew in from California. Boy, are my arms tired. Because
That's that might be his worst one. That might be his worst. I don't even want to let him back in for that. That might be his worst one.
Oh my god, I had to like stop myself from laughing mid whatever you were saying when I found this one. That's a banger.
That's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, man. All right, well, on that horrible note, everyone go enjoy the Boston College game. We'll be back Sunday to recap it for all of you beautiful people. If you're going, be safe, have fun, enjoy the tailgates, all that stuff. Enjoy the fall weather before it gets too cold. Some of those games in November get pretty miserable, even though there'll be bigger games for Mizzou. But enjoy the nice fall football weather. And until Sunday, we will see you next time.